diagnosis. Hit you with the quick release like Marino Danny dopeness. Explosive change of direction in the true essence of Reggie Bush. From JT and ZT to DVP and AVG. Terminator to a quarterback Hunter JP. Steve Ross, the boss, King Flow, and card slinging gambling genius Slick Chris Greer.
Hey, sorry, I fell out there. Sorry about that, guys. My
good, bro.
speaker got muted. I was talking and realized my speaker was muted. But good morning. This is Rob Mosley, aka Dolphins Thirsty, and as always, I'm going to be joined by Justin of Digging in the Trenches. And today's question to you guys is: do you think Mark Clayton in 1984 had a better receiving season, or do you think Tyreek Hill had a better receiving season this year? So give us your thoughts on that when you guys come on. And Justin, I'm sorry for that little bit of delay. I almost know you almost filled in for me there for a second. I had all kinds of stuff going on in the background. I had too many windows open. So
yeah, that happens, it's all good. It's a learning process, learning curve. The banner that you brought up though, it's crazy, man. It's actually kind of closer than you would think. Look at the yards per catch he has right there, which I'm saying for Clayton. Oh, and then the touchdowns. I know that
I think I slightly lean Mark Clayton, even though that may make some of the newer school guys, because I know Tyreek was very, very exciting this year. But man, that 18 touchdowns and 19 yards per catch.
That takes the cake. I'm with you. I'm going slightly toward Mark Clayton right here.
Yeah,
it's funny. I was gonna sport that jersey again today. It's funny that you have that one. Yeah, I was gonna put on my Clayton, the same white one he's got on there, but I was like, nah, I'll go with this Christian Wilkins salute service. But it's crazy, man. Like I would go definitely with Clayton, slight edge to Clayton right there. Now, who's more explosive of a receiver? Yeah, Tyreek, but yeah.
And just for breaking down that individual season, those are amazing numbers. I'll bring that back up later.
Yeah, they are. Those are both amazing numbers. Yeah. Like I was saying, we seem to tend to get more people toward the end of the show and stuff. So it's okay to get a slower start. You know what I mean? So when people get more in here, then we'll talk more about it. So there's all kinds of stuff to talk about.
And we may or may not get a guest today.
Let's hope so.
You invited Gino. He's always a good guest. So
anybody wants to come in, we'll drop you the link in the comments.
If anyone else out there wants to come in, make sure you drop the link. So nothing too exciting out there happening in the football world, really, especially related to us. Brian Flores, I guess we got a note.
I've seen that.
He's going to be the defensive coordinator at the Vikings, which I assume he was told he was out of the running for the Arizona head coaching job. I haven't seen news break there on the Arizona front, though.
I've seen nothing. I've seen nothing.
But I'm sure he must have heard that he's not going to be the guy, or I don't think he's accepting the Minnesota Vikings DC job over a head coaching job. Unless he just looked at it and says, I don't like that. Maybe who knows? You never know. He doesn't like that spot. You could think it's another tough spot to be going into, or Arizona told him that, they're going another direction. So who knows?
No, I'm sure that's what happened. Who knows? I don't know like anybody going on with Arizona, but when something breaks, I'm sure we'll hear about it real quick and then talk a little bit about it. But we'll see what happens. Dolphins are on the same front we've been. We're waiting to put that ink to paper for Fangio, and then we'll go from there. Obviously, the new league year hasn't started. Then we'll clear our cap money and, open up some money so we can play around with it a little bit. But we definitely have holes to fill.
Definitely. We need to do that. So get updated and I don't know. It's just tough. The only reason I bring up Flores because he still has that Dolphin connection, and
that's
there's
true.
not much going on in the Dolphin world because like Fangio is not going to be official until after the Super Bowl, and so I don't think we're gonna add anything. I don't even know about the offensive line. I mean, it's very quiet on the Western Front, as they say. It's like you haven't heard really anything about our offensive line other than like you said, Mungchek and a couple guys mentioned, but nothing like official. So I guess they're just keeping that under their vest for a little while until, maybe they get to interview some other people. Maybe there are a couple guys on staffs that are still working. You never know, so why
Yeah.
that's quiet. I would have figured maybe they were going to move quick because when they fired him, I figured they probably could kind of fire him later than most coaches were being fired. So I figured, boom, then they must have someone in mind. But maybe they just want to do their due diligence.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what's going on. Is they'll do their work, turn over every rock that needs to be turned over to find the right guy for the job. If anybody knows me and you know me digging into trenches, I've been pounding the table for someone like Mike Munchak for years here. I mean, we're going on like 5 since I think joined Twitter. I've been pounding the table for an offensive line coach, somebody who knows what the hell they're doing down there. You gotta have it, especially now that you have Tua Tagovailoa in house. You want to protect your assets. You want to build stack those bricks in front of him. You know what I'm saying? You definitely want people to help. You're not going to get by just having 3. You need 5, if not 7 and 8. Do you know what I mean? Like you need linemen on top of linemen on top of another one.
You can never have too many going into a season. That's for sure.
Never. So, that's like a millionaire saying he has too many bank accounts with money in it. So like you definitely need those on your team. We would love to be rich in offensive linemen here in Miami, don't you think? Like,
oh no, for sure. It's been way too long since we've done it. So
way too long.
You can go on. Someone's texting me. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I'm not normally I don't do that, but I'm waiting for someone to be here today. So
I would hope that we would be able to get the offensive line fixed in a more timely manner, but they just haven't been able to do it, But I think that as time goes on, they're going to find the combination that they really like. And I'm hoping, praying that it's my co-host's former teammate, Mike Munchak. I mean, I want Mike Munchak to be the offensive line coach of this football team. You need somebody who has that kind of vital intel, has played the game, seen every block that he could possibly see come at him, and then explain that to your offensive line and your team. Pass on valuable little hints, little tools, little do's and don'ts, and like little tools of the trade, just like Terron Armstead. He's like having a coach out there, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. And then you add that with someone like a Mike Munchak, and then you sprinkle in like another great, valuable veteran offensive lineman and a good piece out of the draft. I would be perfectly happy with that. Let's hope that they figure it all out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. So. I mean, like you say, Applebaum didn't actually do that bad of a job, but I guess that just shows that the Dolphins expect more, which you want from your football team. You don't want them to accept mediocre play. You want them to expect excellence, and hopefully that's what they're expecting moving forward, is that they don't, someone that maybe is in a better fit for McDaniel's blocking scheme. Maybe Applebaum didn't like how it was being coached. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but there had to be some reason that they decided to, let him go.
You know what? I think it comes down to a little bit of both of what you just said. Maybe he wasn't really at fault, but someone's head had to roll there. So I think they want to build a winner here in Miami. They want to make last year was just a prelude of a real run that they're getting ready to make with the same cast members, if you could say. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Tyreek, Chubb, you're going to be involved, but they're going to change some things. The defensive coordinator, the offensive line coach, they're going to stack this like all-star coaching staff together is what I want to see. And then I want to see them make a long run into the playoffs, win 2-3 playoff games, if not the whole damn thing. And the way you do that is stack your chips there. Then you go into the free agency, you stack maybe not flashy players unless you can afford them, and you've made moves to have that money free up. Then I'm all about Saquon moves and stuff like that. Sure. But if not, then you're going to have to make the more under the radar moves to a guy who more fits your scheme, is a football player, not just a guy who's going to put seats in, butts in the seats and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know like Mike Munchak, just like Fangio, he was out of the NFL for the past year. So maybe they both just and maybe that's why a lot of connections are thinking, because Fangio, I think, did work with Munchak, right? They were together when they were so maybe, I mean, they're on different sides of the ball, but he could be putting in a good word like, hey, I know I'm defense, but this Munchak's a really good offense. You never know. Stuff like that could happen. And,
I think stuff like that happens.
That could have been a closing part of the, like, hey, if you bring Munchak over, then I'm coming there or whatever. And some teams, you just never know.
You never know what's happening. Maybe they do have a working relationship like that, because me and you, but definitely wouldn't know about it. I'm sure they've heard of each other, and I'll be honest with you, they got mutual respect. It's just a great idea.
I think they were both on Denver staff together, weren't they?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he was the head coach, and Munchak was the offensive line coach.
Yeah.
So they have a working relationship right there. We just put that's what you call connecting the tea leaves, you guys.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Bam, you got it right there. They have a working relationship together. I mean, it gets better than this, you guys. Just think about it. We've already retained Darrell Bevel. He's already had a job offer for somewhere else. Like, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay coaching too. I'm going to stay with this team. You got Mike McDaniel. You got Bevel. You still got the running backs coach, Eric Studesville, who's also, I'm pretty sure, may have been part of that staff maybe with Fangio upon one point in time. I know he was there when they had Manning and they won the Super Bowl right there.
Right.
Eric Studesville, that was his ring, that he won a Super Bowl with that team. So, I mean, he's got experience with the running backs, everything like that. And that's more experience.
Yeah, both him and Bevel had gotten some looks from other teams too. So at least, you know, they're doing their job. So.
And then you also have Frank Smith too. I mean, Frank Smith, you know, he comes from the Chargers. They had a great running game that season, good O-line. We got good coaching. So I think we're looking like the sky's up. Of course, we said the same thing last year. Like, of course,
we've been saying it for 23 years.
Yeah,
so,
of course, we're not
going to playoff win. So, but hey, that's just part of being a Dolphin fan. So
it is like, you know,
it's all good.
You see me,
guys,
if you see me,
you know, like coming in here, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. So. We're new, as you can see. We're just getting going. I'm still learning how to try to do all of this without looking like I'm distracted. But
you're doing good.
I gotta take my eyes off the screen here so often there.
I was gonna tell you guys, make sure too, all of you guys out there, you too, Rob, make sure you're my boy. You gotta pull me back in when I get too crazy. So when like a training camp hits and I'm starting to get all hyped up, talking about all this long run we're gonna make, somebody reel me back in.
And I know.
What happened last year?
I know, but this year. I got hooked in, and I had gotten better over the past. Oh, somewhere I missed Ender's sneak.
Oh, damn. Ender, what's up, buddy?
Somehow I missed that through all my hellos. So, hello, Ender, and welcome again. And
we're just waiting
Justin is still working on your thing. There's just had to be.
Oh, bro. Everything's in mad delays right now. I haven't forgot. It's still happening, bro. I'm just waiting for it to hit my hands, and then we'll take care of you.
Yeah, so that's cool. But, he snuck in there among all my hellos.
I didn't see it either, bro.
I know, but I think, you know, there's, like I said, there's not really much to talk about. I know the NFL draft, we're gonna have tons to talk about. So if you want to talk about, like, right now, do you know who your top 5 players in the NFL draft? Not Dolphin related, but top 5 players, non-quarterback, because I know you haven't rated the quarterbacks yet.
Yeah, I got top 5 for you. If you want that, as far as mine goes.
People in here agree with your top 5.
No one will agree with this top 5. Trust me. This is just the way I see things, and I'm not rating them as far as like, oh, well, this guy is good because he's from Texas and was the best running back last year. I don't do it like that. Mine's not off of notoriety or who you are, your name, or who you've been. It's on scorecard. It's particularly what you put out on the field and how I rate it. So this is all SRS scorecards from the top down. The very highest rated player I have on my board right now would be Riley Moss, the cornerback out of Iowa. In fact, I'll always do mock drafts almost daily. He's falling though. His stuff's falling down to the back of the draft, like 6th, 7th round, which I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm sure it's going to change though, because it's always changing. These things are changing constantly, you guys.
Can you rank someone that high that falls that far in the mock draft? Are you losing your touch, or are you just ahead of the game?
I'm ahead of the game, my friend. There's no way I'm losing my touch. I'll stick to my tape. Like, there's a lot of people who will change their evaluations because they see this Senior Bowl practices and like a game, and then they flip-flop their whole evaluation. That's not going to be me. I'll never do that. I stick to my tape. What I've seen is what you're going to get. That's tape don't lie, you guys. Tape doesn't lie. When you go and look at the film and you look at these things, it's right there. It's glaring right in your face. Go back and look at it 4 or 5 times if you have to, but just make sure you see what I'm seeing. Like, the kid is unbelievable. That Riley Moss kid is the complete package. It's a complete cornerback. He could probably even play safety. He's that smart. He's gifted. He can see the play He's got great play recognition. He sees the plays happen before they even happen. He's fast. He's aggressive. He's got good hands. He can tackle. He's the complete pack, you guys. Like, I don't see his stock sitting right there. I see it going up. The next player from there, which is at 105, Moss was at a 105, right? So he's a 105 SRS scorecard. That's high. The next guy would be Parker Washington at 104 scorecard, the wide receiver out of Penn State. Oh my God, I can't get it over this kid's tape as well. He's a yak dynamo. Kind of reminds me of the Amon St. Brown from the Lions, where like you just throw it to him short and he'll do the rest. Just put the ball in this guy's hands. He's got a very high catch radius. Like, you could kind of just throw it anywhere near the dude and he's going to come up with it. He makes acrobatic catches too, like leaping ones, one-handed. Great hands, sticky hands.
And where do most people have him falling? Let's see how far.
His fallen in the middle of the draft so far, right there. Yeah, but it's funny. The Riley Moss kid was sitting really high at one point, and now it just dropped down. And I think why is because as I'm going through this process, I'm noticing that cornerbacks are dominating the top of the board. If you want a good cornerback in this draft, they're going to be there. There's so many of them, dude. They're all over the place.
Miami's going to be able to need one for sure.
We're going to need one.
Our corners played okay this year, but we got Byron Jones is going to be. I mean, he was gone this year because he didn't even play one down, but then he's going to be gone. So you're going to need a body there to have a healthy body this time at least. And
I heard that Vic Fangio wants to bring back Nick Needham. That's what I heard through the grapevine, that they want to bring back Nick Needham. I could see someone like Fangio making Nick Needham play, which I think he's exclusively a slot cornerback, which he can play okay on the outside, outside the numbers as a boundary. Yeah, if needed, as a boundary. But I think personally that they're going to try to work him in as being a safety. I think they're going to work him into trying being a deep safety in that role. And that's why Fangio wants him back here. That's just my opinion. And I'm just shooting off the hip here. I could be wrong. But that Parker Washington, back to him just a little bit. Yeah. He's so good. The value on him at that spot is so excellent because he also brings you special teams, yards after the catch, possession type receiver, really fast. Like I said, he plays bigger than his size. He's only 5'11", but he plays like he's 6'4". Then you go to the next guy on my list, since you said you wanted 5, right? So I'm gonna give you 5. The next guy who came in on the list, he scores 103 points. He's a transfer from Colorado and transferred to Oregon last year. His name's Christian Gonzalez. Ooh, God, I can't get over this dude. Like, as soon as I was done with his tape, I texted you. I was like, man, this is the next Sauce right here. This is the next Sauce Gardner. This kid's unbelievable. He can run really fast with anybody. He's very aggressive at the line of scrimmage. I think he's 6'2", 204 pounds, something like that. Really good in press, gets his hands on guys, can play zone. He's an all-around good cornerback. And if you throw it in anywhere near him, he's going to probably pick it off. He can tackle, very aggressive. He's great. Great. The next guy under that, see, look at these corners, bro. Here's another corner, right? 102, Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State, I want to say. Oh, my God, this guy's tape was so good, dude. He's like vet savvy as far as play recognition and stuff goes. He's vet savvy right now. Ball tracking. He set I think a SEC record for interceptions. He had I think 3 or 4 of them for touchdowns. So when the ball gets into his hands, he knows what to do with it. But he's probably has the best hands and best ball tracking skills and play recognition skills out of all the corners in the class. Well, maybe not. Riley Moss and him are handed. They're that close. But the Forbes kid, you throw it anywhere near this Forbes kid, and he will pick it off. And then I noticed that quarterbacks, they don't even target to his side of the field because they're scared to throw over there. I really like him. He's excellent. Go underneath him, you have a kid that I think he's transferred from, was it Toledo? Somewhere like that. And he played for University of Cincinnati. His name is Ivan Pace Jr., the linebacker. Dynamic.
You've been talking him up for a while.
He is so good, man. Like, if you throw on his tape, you'll fall in love with it because he's just all over the place. He offers you a lot of variety. He can play inside. He can play outside. They moved him around like that. He offers you not just linebacker skills, coverage, and tackling and block shedding, but he can offer you pass rush as well. He has some good hands, quick feet. He can run the arc. He's got some pass rush polish behind him. He's actually really good. It's low key. I'm not going to say Micah Parsons or anything like that, but he's low key, really sneaky good linebacker that can really add thump to somebody's defense. Then if you want to go with the very last guy, there's actually a 4-way tie right there, and all of them scored 100 points on the SRS.
Right. So just flip a coin to one and just pick one of them that if you had to pick one, like if you're the Dolphins on the clock and you had one of these guys, because then we can get into some other stuff.
I'm picking Tuli Tolopolotu then, if that's the case, because it's Jonah Tavi, Tuli Tolopolotu, Devon Achane, and newly today added TJ Spears.
That's the only name I can pronounce. I'm happy I didn't have to pronounce TJ Spears. That's a name I would take just so I wouldn't make a fool of myself trying to say the name.
Or it's Tajay Spears. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, Tilly Tolopolotu, that's the guy I would choose hands down. And a lot of people be like, no more USC players. You're out of your mind. Go put on the tape on this dude. I'm telling you, it's dominant. He's a 5 tech, and he literally can squeeze in, play you. He's a tweener. He can play a little bit of 3 tech, a little bit of 5 tech. Great pass rush. He's a complete lineman. He's got great hands off the line of scrimmage. He will block, stack, and shed. He's got great pop on contact, shed you quickly. He can get after the quarterback, has pass rush polish, and can play the run. He's a complete player.
Well, that's great. So I'm going to take this pause and say welcome to the room, everyone. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Justin, as always, thank you for doing that quick draft rundown.
Yeah, no worries.
In case you guys are here for the question I asked on Twitter, which one of these seasons do you think is the best, Mark Clayton or Tyreek Hill? If you had to rank them 1 and 2 in Miami Dolphins receiving history, or do you even have someone else in mind that you remember a great season from the Warfield days or something like that? But those are the top 2 seasons in my mind that I've seen a receiver play for over a whole season. I still go with Clayton. Justin also still leans with Clayton, but Tyreek Hill was a lot of fun this year. It was really cool. Ender, if you're still in here, what do you say? I don't know how old you are. I don't know if you remember the Clayton days or not. So, I mean, we all have that recency bias, of course. That's easy for the younger people that haven't seen those, go that route.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
I could talk draft all day, though, bro. Like, honestly, I'm not even
I know. That's what we're going to be doing. Today, we're going to, we won't touch it all the way, but we're going to be doing lots because we got months of doing draft stuff.
Oh, yeah, bro. It's so fun. It's crazy because some of these kids, man, I'm telling you, they get slept on. Like we're talking about movement right there, like that Iowa kid who now he's falling down to the bottom of the draft, but I have him rated the highest. It's funny because it's the same thing all over the place. Like that Demario Overshone, he was one of the top-rated linebackers. Now you could get him in the 6th or 7th round. Why? Because the linebackers are starting to stack up and they're becoming better and better. This is when you're going to see the run on these players go earlier than you think. So if you think there's going to be a run on running backs early, it's going to come earlier than you thought. You know what I'm saying? If you think there's going to be one on tackles, it'll be earlier than you expected.
It's always a run in that. And Ender chimed in with Clayton as well.
Oh, so. Absolutely, dude. Yes,
so
Ender.
Far, it's 3 Claytons. So, no.
It's those touchdowns, bro. G-Man, what's up? G-Man in the house.
Good morning, G-Man. Good morning, Steve.
Steve in the house. What's up? Yeah, you guys missed my draft rant, dude. You guys have to go back.
You can do a little more draft rant after. I'm going to throw up the banner now that we got the back one more time. Sorry, guys, for that. Seen it a few times. There you go. Mark Clayton versus Tyreek Hill. That's this season's 1984 Clayton versus 2022 Tyreek Hill.
When you look at that graphic, if you check it out and start from the top, just think about it. Tyreek's played 2 more games.
Yeah.
He had a crap load more receptions, almost 40 of them, than Mark Clayton, but then and then had way more yardage than he did. But then look at the touchdowns down to the bottom, 18 versus 7, and then the yards per catch 19 versus the 14.4. I would slightly lean with Clayton because of the productivity that you got. So even if he had 2 more games there, I bet you the numbers would be a little bit closer. So I got to go old school right there. I got to give my boy Clayton right there. Tyreek Hill is going to the Hall of Fame. Clayton isn't. Yeah, it's true.
I know, but we're talking about that one season. That's all.
That's true.
The 2 seasons, those seasons, 1984 versus 2022. I still say Clayton has the best
I think I would lean to Clayton's season being a little bit better right there, just because I think the two games.
Definitely Tyreek Hill is on a Hall of Fame.
Tyreek's great.
He's on a Hall of Fame path. He's been in the Pro Bowl every single year of his career.
Lights out. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Best every year. So of course for that, and believe me, he's wearing the aqua and orange. So I'm happy he's wearing the aqua and orange.
Awesome. First ballot, dude, all the way.
And that trade benefited Kansas City too, though, because Steve. Speaking of Steve, he sent a good article that Kansas City benefited from that trade too to get young. So both teams benefited. Dolphins got a good weapon. Kansas City took money off the cap and was able to spread out the wealth among cheaper play. So it's worked out for good.
Yeah, they're going to the Super Bowl though, and we're not. That's what sucks about it.
Yeah, I know. Hey, that's right. It. Clayton,
yes,
that helps. But that season, I agree.
Yep, definitely, absolutely. Garrett, what's up, my man?
Hey, Garrett.
Morning.
Welcome to the house. And Steve, welcome again. And if you guys want to listen to Steve, he's on tonight, 7:30 p.m. on the Fins Talk Sports Network. That's 7:30 p.m. And, of course, I'm a little biased on that show because I'm his co-host on that show. But anyway, it's a fun show. So, again, welcome to all you guys. Good morning, Garrett. Good morning.
What are you guys talking about on the show today?
It's going to be a Q&A. Steve came up.
Q&A. Some Q&A segments.
Yeah. Just come in. Yeah, just come in and let people ask. Just like we're always at Q&A on here.
Right.
But yes, G-Man, he was a touchdown machine that year. It was an NFL record for a while until a couple guys passed it a couple of seasons later and stuff.
Garrett, yes, we did talk about Flo joining the Minnesota Vikings as the new defensive coordinator. We touched on that just a little bit. Let me touch on it just a little bit more, too. Gino brought this up when he was on a show with ours about the defensive backs coach, that Ed Donatel, that was a former Vikings coach. He's got experience with Fangio. I wouldn't doubt to see that name float around coming to the Dolphins, not whatsoever, to help out the defensive backs coach, because I think they still have an opening since the Stephen Gregory release as well. Just floating that out there. It's something we could think about. Touchdowns are all that matters to me. Touchdown wins games. Catches and yards don't translate to wins. It's true. It's true. Those touchdowns is why I glare a little bit to leaning toward that side right there is what you talked about. Those 18 TDs right there. It's like, ooh, damn, that's nice.
Yeah, that'd be great. I don't think
that'd be awesome. That'd be great.
I'd be coughing on that. I would love it. I don't care, I would take that money off that cap. Yeah.
I'm down. Funny, man. I'm down, bro.
Garrett chimed in. They were both thinking alike. Two guys thinking alike. I didn't even think of that scenario. I just can't see any team wanting him because they know Miami's probably going to cut him. A team's going to want him. Some team's going to scoop him up quick once we cut him, and he's a June 1st cut.
No one's going to trade for that. And I'll tell you right now why no one's trading for that. The reason why is because he's on the wrong side of the age category. He's 30 years old, coming off of injury-plagued season, hasn't played in 2 years. And he's overpaid. So who's taking that overpaid contract?
Like I say, you never say never. Every so often you just get lucky and some team will give you, but I just don't see it because they know Miami's probably going to cut them.
If you offer to pay half of it, they'll take it.
Yeah, maybe. But then that kind of, just depends. You have to do the math and see what's better. Is it better just to cut them or trade them at that point? So
I don't know. I'd have to look at the books part of it and the dead money part, but I'm sure it probably more. If you could trade him, I'm sure it'd be more beneficial.
Yeah, it would be, but we'll see. I would love it.
Could there really be a trade for a player for a staff member? No, not as the coach.
I know. I know. I mean, technically, I guess you could. What's the difference of trading a draft pick for a coach like the Peyton, like the Broncos did for Peyton and stuff? But I don't know if there would be a rule against that. I don't know. Who knows?
What staff member would you be interested in?
Yeah, I know. So I don't know. He's just coming up with sending. Yeah, probably.
No, I don't see it happening.
I know.
No. Even the trade for coaches.
No one ever thinks of.
Those are rare too. The trades for coaches, like the Sean Payton one you've just seen, or the John Gruden one that happened back in the past. Greer is actually good at making trades. Maybe he can get something for Byron. He is great at it. Wouldn't it be Donatel?
Trades better than some.
No, Donatel, I think, is a actual on the street free agent.
Yeah, I think
You don't have to do anything for him besides call him up and be like, "We want you to come in," and then give him a contract. That's it.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Maybe X will do well in zone coverage since he has lost a step.
Yeah, I hope.
No.
But you don't like X anymore?
No, it's not that I don't like X, but that's not his game, you guys. His game's not zone. His game is press man cover. You got to get these guys and doing what they're good at. He's not a good zone guy, so don't ask him to zone.
Doesn't Fangio run a lot of zone, though?
Yeah, but at the same time, when you have someone like he runs a lot of different stuff, you guys. He does weird things with the defensive backs as well. Like he'll have a defensive back take like a 5-yard cushion, soft coverage, and he won't even have him go into a back pedal, have him just stay home, meaning not even move your feet, just stay there and watch. And when the dude either breaks deep or breaks short, that's when you start to react. So it's some sort of a zone, but it's a different kind of a zone, like I don't know what the word or formality would be like a stall zone or a delay zone or something with their feet because they don't move, they're stationary. So he does a lot of different stuff.
That maybe he would do okay because he can adapt. These players learn how to adapt and whatever.
Sure,
so I
he
know
might
his
be able
strength
to.
over the year has been the bump in the run, getting handsy with people, and being right up on them. That's has been his strength. But he has lost a little bit of a step. It could have been injury this year is the reason he lost.
It's possible. I mean, he's not terrible in zone. I'm not saying he's like dog crap in zone. He's decent, but where do you see him where does he bake his donuts at? It's at the line of scrimmage, you guys. It's in receiver's face. It's staying in their hip pocket. It's right. Every time I've seen Xavier and being a ball hawk, every time I've seen Xavier in a trail position or in a position of zoning, he might get lucky on tip drill pass and zoning and catch and get a tip pass and an interception like that, but I just don't like him in zone. He's always trailing. He's too slow for his read and react skills, but he's really good in press, and that's because that's where he's more comfortable. So I would love to keep him in press, honestly.
Okay, because I know some are chiming in that they would like to see him in zone. So hey, that's it. That's why we all have opinions.
So, you want to see him in zone, trailing and running after receivers that are faster than him. Okay, play him in zone then, because that's what we've seen all last year is him playing zone and trailing. Yeah. I'm more about him being what he's good at, but I think the DC, like Fangio, can figure out a way to use a talented player like X. Absolutely. Yes. He's definitely going to figure out a way to use him, dude.
Yeah,
I know it.
He would make sure. I mean, he may give him some man and have some, there's all kind of hybrids they can play.
I mean, you can play man on one side of the field and play zone on the other half. And you can do all kinds of different things. So
yeah, you can. You can just say, okay, actually, they're going to cover whoever they think the best receiver is for the day or whatever, and then everyone else. You never know. But it does bring up a good question. So thank you, Steve, for that.
Like question. I was saying, don't keep out of your mind that they I heard Fangio wants to bring back Nick Needham. And I already told you at the beginning of the show why I thought that was. Yes, I think he's exclusively a slot cornerback, but I think they got different plans for Nick Needham. I think they want Nick Needham to be that other too high safety. I think that's going to be what they're going to do with Nick Needham is they're going to turn him into a safety. I think they'll put somebody else like Kuho in the slot corner role down there, and they'll let Nick Needham start to develop more as a football player and as a defensive back and play safety. He could do it. He's very aggressive, can tackle, got good cover skills.
No, yeah, he does have good cover skills. He fell out there for a minute. He's frozen in time. So I use this time to say, make sure you guys you're back, but make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.
I froze out.
Froze up for a minute, so I was using the time to tell them to hit the subscribe and like button.
Yep.
Like I said,
I was going to say too that he's got good play recognition skills. He can read plays. He's getting better. He's good in film. He's probably would be someone I could see floating back and playing some safety. Kuho is going to be a great player.
I think we got a great find out in the under. Every so often you get lucky, and I think we hit it. And
we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. The jury's still out. He's young. He's got some bad habits that he develops that I really don't like, but it's all good. We'll see if he can change. He's got this habit that Noah Igbenogany and Byron Jones both have. And they can run with anybody and stay in their hip pocket, but when it comes to turning your head back around and ball tracking, forget it. And that's what Koa needs to figure it out.
Yeah, I think
he needs to keep his head.
Give him the benefit.
Oh, I'll give him the benefit. I'll give you time, but he needs to keep his head silent, which for the most part it is. When I say silent, I mean I can't have bobblehead when you're in your back pedal or running. You keep your head silent and turn your head around and locate the football, because when you don't do that, it really frustrates me. You need to locate the ball and turn your head around in coverage. How about Brandon Jones?
Jones is going to be good in any system. So hopefully, I know Brandon Jones is he's known for the blitz, but I still think he fits in a Fangio because he's just a good ball player. And like G-Man, I think it was, that says Fangio is going to find a way to work in good ball players and use their talent to his advantage. But yeah, I want some Brandon Jones back, but he's definitely probably better.
I think
the defense we had last year and stuff.
I was going to say, I think Brandon Jones is going to be better suited for like a role that's more suited in for the box. So when I say they need him to be that other safety, that's because Brandon Jones doesn't have the range and the cover skills that Javon Holland does. He needs to be more in the box. He's like an extra linebacker, so you need to use him as such. He's better in a robber role, and that's where I would put Brandon Jones, and I would be like, listen, this is what I need you to do. I need you to come up and play, run support, and then I need you when they try to go to the tight ends and stuff, and underneath, I need you to be that robber. So that's the role I would put him in.
I think he fits that field very well.
I do too. Yep. G-Man, at both the statements you just said, I agree with you, bud. Fangio can't fix Igbenogany, then nobody can. You're right. And then once again, I'll start with the Noah one first. Noah's the same way I think Xavier kind of is, but Xavier's a good player. Noah needs to be in press coverage. That's what he's good at. He's good at pressing. He's not good at zoning. He's terrible at zone coverage. So that's what you need to do with that kid. Kuho is a great tackler. Hell yeah, he is. He's an awesome tackler. He comes up in support. He's not scared to stick his face in the fan by no means. He just needs to fix the technical things, bro. He's a little grabby. Like when he gets beat, he'll grab and draw penalties. So don't grab, shadow. And it all comes from technique. Sometimes his technique will go thrown out the window when he gets beat. I just like to see him stick to his guns more, turn his head, make play on ball more. It all comes with time.
He got called for a couple penalties that cost us towards the end of the season for some of them were tic-tacky penalties that, but they still call them,
It just comes with time. It comes with times and experience. That's all it is. It's the same thing with the quarterback position. People are like, why isn't he throwing it away? Give him some time. He'll figure it out. Well, yeah, as guys get older, they typically move to safety anyways, right? Yes, they do. Maybe even you could do the same thing. Maybe he wants to do that with Xavier. I don't know. I'm not Vic Fangio. But I know what a player's strengths are, and I know don't take him away from it. If you do, you're probably going to get the worst of that player, not the best. I want Fangio to get the most out of our fringe players, guys like Raekwon Davis. Davis looks like Tarzan, but plays like Jane. Boom! Perfect analogy of another Jag. Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. You got Jags all over the roster still, G-Man. Jerome Baker's another Jag. I agree with you with Raekwon Davis. He should be playing more like a Chris Jones. He's the same style, same size, basically, as Chris Jones. I think maybe he's 20 pounds heavier, but he should be playing better, more aggressive. When I looked at Raekwon Davis, he's a one-gap penetrator. He goes upfield really well. He doesn't go side to side really good, so that's what you should do with the guy. Yeah. And Kuho has that quick twitch ability. He sure does. He does have that quick twitch ability. I'm not knocking Kuho, so don't get me wrong.
You just picked out one of his flaws. That's fine. That's what,
Well, they all have flaws.
He definitely, especially an undrafted free agent, he's not. He's going to have some flaws. He's not going to fall all the way through the draft. If he was the perfect player, he would have been taken in the right up there with sauce.
Yep, like G-Man, dude. Me and you think a lot alike then, because if you see that and like the statement you made, Davis looks like Tarzan but plays like Jane. I agree with you, bud. And I'll be honest with you, those are the players I want to stay away from. Just because you have a 41-inch vertical leap and can run faster than Odell Beckham Jr., don't make him a champion. You just did that with Mike Gesicki. Where did that get you? Stop falling for this crap at the combine. Stop falling for these workout warriors to put up all these good numbers. Like, don't do it, dude.
Igbo was definitely drafted because of personal workouts and all of that.
Same thing. Don't do it. You're trying to take a guy who played wide receiver and make him a corner. There's going to be a transition there. It's a rough one too, because Igbenogany's had this. He's having a hard time transferring from college to the NFL speed. The game is faster. It's quicker. You can't rely on just your speed anymore to recover. You have to stay in the hip pocket of the player. Like, I think Igbo could turn the corner, but it's going to take some real damn good coaching in order to do it.
Because I think Flores fell in love with Igbo because before COVID hit and a lot of the workouts were shut down, in-person workouts were shut down. The Dolphins had a live Auburn Day, pro day workout, and I think they just really liked the kid because he's, oh my god, this guy's like an undiscovered talent, because no one else really had him going in the first round. And
yeah, when they made that pick and announced it, I was like, what? I was like, damn, you could have got him later. So yeah, I thought it was a reach. But at the same point in time, you got to understand, and when these general managers and these scouts see it, they're like, nope, this is our guy. Nope. If that's how their board falls and he falls to them, they're going up there with that ticket and that name in hand. I never see Raekwon make a play. Never see him on the other side of the scrimmage. He needs to be more disruptive force. I've seen him make some plays that are like he'll get in there and penetrate and cause a play. But yeah, he doesn't make enough plays. You don't see him flash enough. His consistency isn't where we need it to be. He needs to be flashing like at the level that Zach Sealer does and that Christian Wilkins does. And that's what I need you to do.
He's another guy that, like, Flores was all giddy when they showed him in the picture that Raycon Davis had fallen to us. He was all happy. His sons were happy. But yeah, he hasn't really lived up to.
G-Man, I'm with you. I want production out of the second round too. So do I. But the only way you're going to get that is by making the correct acquisitions, the correct pick. I want football players, bro. I want football players. I don't want athletes. I don't want namesake. I don't want combine workouts. I don't want Senior Bowl workouts. I want football players. You give me football players, you'll see a different team here.
No, I agree. Gary, don't worry. We're K-Hoop fans too, man. We love the story of an undrafted. It is great. I agree. I'm with you. I'm like a K-Hoop.
He's all right. That's all I'm going to give you right now. He's all right. We'll see.
I know.
I'd like to see him develop. I need to see more out of you. Like he had this nickname coming out of college. They called him like the area code or something like that because no one wanted to throw to his side of the football field. Hell, everybody throws to your side of the field now because you're in the NFL.
That's what every team wants probably, but I agree with G-Man 100%. Smart,
tough football players. That's all I'm looking for, bro. G-Man, me and you think alike. That's all I want. Smart, hard-nosed football players that envelop the mentality of a Richie Incognito. Like that's what I'm looking for. Someone who's mean, nasty, dogs. Like
I want suspension part.
Without being a racist piece of crap. Don't be a jerk, but just be mean. Go out there and lay it all on the line for your teammates. Go fight for your brothers. Like, yeah, no track stars. Exactly, bro. Like. If you were a guy who has speed but also can play the game the right way, break tackles in the middle of the field, supply yak yards, use your hands to catch instead of your body, do all the small things. This is small things I'm looking for when I'm scouting these players. If they do if they do the big things, you're supposed to do that already. But the small things is what really stands out to me. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what the coaching staff is looking for. I guarantee it.
No, I know. I mean, that's what I said. Most teams probably, we all say that, but then teams on draft day sometimes lose their mind and go for the big combine numbers. Like, it's like they're like, like that Kevin Costner movie Draft Day, like nothing but this is the guy, and then they get there, and then all of a sudden
it's all out the window.
It's all out the window, and they go like they fall for the numbers and
whatever. But don't do that, man. Stick to your draft board, like. In one way or another, I'd love to see the Dolphins draft board over the years because I swear to God, it's stacked vertically. It's stacked vertically and not horizontally because that's the way all the pro scouts do is they stack their draft boards horizontally, meaning just right across the line on a piece of paper. Watch, just like this. This is what they look like.
Right.
Look, whoa. No, not there. Look, here. See how they're going across the line? Like across, horizontally, not vertically. Right. That's how they're supposed to be done. So everybody's draft boards, when they look at them, they stack them in the back. They're all like that way. In fact, they probably run out of paper, and room on their boards. How can the Chiefs find a great running back, seventh round, and Greer can never get his running back to save his life? Because he's not worried about running backs. He can never draft running backs or offensive line. Start with the offensive line, G-Man. He can't start to get an offensive lineman to save his life. If you could just get an offensive lineman, bro, you could put any running back there and eat off of it. But you need a good line. So get linemen.
No, I agree.
Get linemen who are aggressive.
I agree with the line's been a kryptonite for Greer, and so has the running back spot. And I know, like you say, the line's going to help the other go hand in hand. Get a better line, all the running backs are going to look better.
I think so. I really do, truly in my heart, believe that. Pacheco is the guy moving forward. I'd offer the Chiefs a 5th-round pick for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You know what? That's not a bad option right there. I like that, G-man. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a damn good running back. I remember when I scouted him out of LSU, I was like, damn, he's got the best hands out of the whole class. He can catch out of the backfield. He can provide you yak yards. He's decent. Yeah. Yes, I would be all about that move right there, especially for something like a mid-round pick. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, hopefully the Dolphins do well in their draft and they get these guys young, have them for a few cheap years. That's where you really need to hit the drafts and the running backs because they're only good for 4 or 5 years anyway. So you hit them, get that rookie contract out of them, and then move on. That's what good teams do all the time. They're like,
man, to be honest, where you really need to hit is on those meat and potatoes. It's the line of scrimmage, bro. You have to hit on those damn picks. Like they're so important.
You say that every day. We know, Justin. You're digging in the trenches.
Man, I'm never going to stop until we get these guys that are all like Connor Williams and they're all like Robert Hunt and they're all like Terron Armstead, but don't get hurt. Then you'll hear me stop talking about it so much. You have to have it. Like you want to win, you want to win, start there.
Yeah,
they do. They have so many backs.
Remember a few years ago when Damian Williams, that was on the Dolphins, ended up on Kansas City and played in the Super Bowl. We talked about it yesterday. He probably should have been the Super Bowl MVP. Every time Justin freezes out, reminds me to say, hit that subscribe button and the like button for us, guys. Thank you.
I remember. You remember?
No.
Those member
Justin's
berries.
still willing to give him this season, though. But you don't like him, but you're still willing to give him this season, you said. Unless you're changing your mind on him. Because
I'll be honest with you, man. Like I'm down for you to be on the team, but you got to beat out a veteran. If you can beat out Brandon Shell, I might jump back on to thinking you'll be a decent player still. But Austin Jackson has technical deficiencies that drive me absolutely nuts. His hands are wonky. His technique is sloppy. He's always getting caught reaching into the cookie jar and lunging and not hitting his target. He's susceptible for people crossing over his face.
It's another bad tag. An injury bug hit him this year, and he was out.
Yep.
So
if there's one thing you can do, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Rob. I had to get this off. There's one thing you can do as an offensive lineman to not piss me off or make me be like, you frustrate me, is don't open the gate. If you open the gate and let the dude cross over your face, you're going to really make me mad, like really mad. Like there's a Howard Mudd, I think is an offensive line coach. He's like, if you have to turn around and run after the guy, then do it. But you don't want no one to turn around and run after a guy trying to save your quarterback's life. Move your damn feet and stay in front of the guy.
Well, I think G-Man's kind of in your category. He says you can't block a dead body.
Dead body. I'm with you, bro. This guy's terrible.
Well, I agree. That's another. I mean, that's why that 2020 draft's not looking so great because our quarterback – with the 5th pick is often injured, but he's still, at least he can save that draft if he comes back and plays a whole healthy.
It's crazy, man. Like I think when whoever's scouting department, these players for the Dolphins, please stop paying attention to what's going on. I mean, you have to pay attention to the film, but sit down with the young man, talk to him, figure out how he likes football, figure out whether you got a dog or whether you got a jag right off the bat. And don't sign me no more Jags. I don't need no more Jags. You need somebody who's a mean dog. Like when I finish a block, I finish a block. Like you need guys like that. And that's period it. He's almost as bad as Jesse Davis.
Justy Davis.
Don't get me on Jesse Davis. Me and Jesse Davis got into a verbal altercation on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have heard my story, but we had direct messages going back and forth where I was like, I'm sick of sticking up for your ass. You can't block. Move your damn feet and block. He sent me back a message being like, bro, why are you getting so mad and everybody hates me? And I'm like, yeah, because you don't block. And like, we got into it. I showed a couple people the messages. Like, I just wish the dude would have worked out better. I was so sick of sticking up for the kid because it was Flores' whipping boy. But I was like, man, the dude is terrible. Like, he almost got Tua killed numerous times on numerous occasions. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, we need dogs, not poodles.
Exactly, bro. Absolutely. We need to stop herding the kittens in here and get some dogs.
There's nothing wrong with small dogs. I have a small dog. He's not a poodle, but he's a small dog.
I love the analogy because I totally understand what you're saying. We need people who will bite the dude's head off, not be like, hey, you want to be my friend? Like, dude, you need dudes to get after it, dude. And it all starts with mentality, how the dude finished blocks. That's why I wanted that Cooper Beebe kid out of Kansas State so damn bad because of the way, Jarvis Landry dogs, dudes who don't play games. Like, I need guys like that, bro. Like, I need them on the offensive line bad. Go watch that Kansas State guard play, that number 50, and tell me what you think about him, how he finishes blocks. I'd love to get that on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What
She wanna
round is
win.
he off the top of your head? Like, where do people have him?
He's not coming out this year. He was one of the.
Okay.
Remember when our guard board started to fall apart? I was
Yeah,
like,
okay.
yeah.
He was one of the ones. Okay.
He's the first one. He's like, I'm going back to school. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
That was the one guy I wanted real bad because he would have changed your whole offense. You put him at left guard. Oh, wow. Wow. You'd have something right there.
Yeah.
You really would. Yep. But he's not coming out. There's other guards coming out of this draft that are kind of like him, but nothing like that Cooper Beebe kid. That kid,
I know you're top 50 that you're going to give me here, and I'm going to be writing up soon. Like, you gave me one, but you said, oh, it's already changed.
It's changing.
So when I get the latest and I write an article on it, this is going to be the non-quarterback guys. So don't say, oh my God, he doesn't even have a quarterback. I will put it in the article. It's a non-quarterback top.
Yep.
50.
We save those quarterbacks for last. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you do your quarterbacks, I know some of them won't rank in the top because of how you grade, but do you change that for your mock drafts though? Do you realize, well, these guys are going to be overdrafted, and then in your mock draft you put them 1 and 2? Probably,
what do you mean?
Right? Like,
you mean like if I go do a mock, I'm taking like Jalen Carter #1 and not going to my draft board?
Right. Yeah. No. Like,
yeah.
If you were just trying to guess what the NFL is going, not yours, just for fun as a fan.
Oh yeah, I just kind of go off the top of my head. I don't really. I mean, I always relate back to my draft
Bryce
board.
Young or whoever being #1 and the Ohio State kid, whatever up there. Even on your board, they may not be in the top 10.
Yeah, I would definitely take that because of notoriety and what everybody else is going to take. But don't get me wrong. If I'm like somewhere on the draft board and I think a team's for better suited and my scorecard's higher, I'm going to my scorecard first. But yeah, because I trust that before anything. So I'll trust the scorecard before anything. I go to the SRS scorecard.
Right.
I would make all my draft picks.
Even if once you do the quarterback, say, and Bryce Young is behind some people on your, but he's going to be drafted over your guys just because he plays the quarterback position, which is the most, so all that gets factored in. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, they'll definitely be more realistic. I won't like take Christian Gonzalez in first or something like that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'll definitely put the quarterbacks higher up there and do it more realistic to what I think every team's going to do. But if it was me making those choices, like if I was the Dolphins GM, I would only refer to my SRS scorecards. So if I came up on the board at pick 51 and my highest rated Riley Moss is the highest rated player I have, he's on the scorecard and that pick came in.
He fell out. And I agree, natural born leaders are great, and they can also play. I know the Dolphins like those. A lot of times they look for the captain on the team. It must be the end. Oh, I know it's almost the end of the show when Justin falls out. Oh, he's already. I say, see, that's like your way of telling me our show's almost over for the day. Is you fall out of the
I'll fall out. I'm done. No, but like I was saying, if we came on that part of the board at pick 51 and Riley Moss is up there and I'm the GM, I don't even hesitate. I don't bat an eye. I go to the top rated player on my scorecard, and that's how I make every damn pick. I won't hesitate. I won't waver.
I know, but so many teams say that, we do BPA, but then when it comes down to it, they go to need over and over again. And that's why they're never good at one position, because they just go to need, even though there's I agree with you. You can never have too many good football players on your team. You worry about those other positions. I mean, if you have to wait again, but just because you need an offensive guard, but if the offensive guard's way down your list and there's a great corner sitting there, just take the great corner.
Yeah, I'm taking the corner, man.
To me, it's harder to find higher ranked players at any position than just find, this guy can fit in for a year, but we just need to take a guard and that's where we've always been. We're like, oh my God, we need a guard. That's why we traded up for, we gave up a future 3rd round pick, to trade up for Eichenberg just because we're panicked instead of just being true to your board and not panicking and saying, there's a run on guards. We got to hop up there.
It's true. It's true. And the Dolphins are notorious for panicking and making decisions like you just said, dude. They'll panic and rush. It's something that I wish they wouldn't do.
They're always behind the rush on players. Like when running backs start falling, they're always right behind it. They need to say, this is when the run on running backs is going to start. Let's get out ahead of it.
They do.
Take a running back before start that damn run for a change on the
there
running
you go.
Back. Get your pick of the litter.
It's crazy, but the running back run, I don't think is going to happen as quick as everyone thinks this year. Like, I think people think there's going to be some runs on the running backs happening in the first round. I think you're wrong. I think it's going to be more like second round, like the beginning of the second round, I think is when you'll see it start. I don't think anyone's going to take a first round running back this year. I could be wrong, and someone go out there and take Bijan Robinson in the lower half of the first round, but we'll see.
Yeah,
you need
I
leadership
agree.
in your locker room. A football is too big, 53 guys for the head coach to be the only leader. I agree, bro. You need more players in there. You need guys who they're there to win football games, and the coach leads them. I agree with you, G-Man. Eichenberg has short alligator arms, can't play tackle with short arms. He has to play guard. Absolutely. That's probably what you'll see him transition somewhere down there to playing like a swing
because
guard.
so many of these Notre Dame kids come in here and do well right away in the NFL from the offensive line, and we get the one that struggles. It's just our luck.
It is. It's true. This is the thing with quarterbacks: big arm, big body, never be prioritized over what's between the ears and in the chest. Bingo. That's a Herbert analogy right there, bro. Like,
that's it. But that's like Herbert. That's what the Dolphins though went for, the heart in the chest, and maybe
I think that's most important. Like, I'm always looking what's up here first in the mind and how they process things, and their heart and how they play at the quarterback position and the intangibles. Then all that other stuff like arm strength and your athletic ability can be just a bonus. Like, I don't rate quarterbacks like that. I rate quarterbacks off what you do for me when the play breaks down.
Yes, that's where Tua ranks very high, especially when you got elite accuracy,
anticipation and pocket awareness, and everything you just said right there.
Unfortunately, with Tua, he can't stay healthy, and that's the only thing we can all agree on. Because I ride with my quarterback no matter who's on the Dolphins.
I agree with you.
David Woodley days. I was a David Woodley fan, so funny. David Woodley did help get us to a Super Bowl. Him and Don Strock combination, but it's just no matter what, that's just like him and all these guys that's come after Dan Marino.
There's one right here from G-Man. McClinchy is a name to watch.
Keep on. Okay, you click it. I'm clicking it, and you're clicking it. You're like the two stooges.
Right. Okay. McClinchy from San Francisco, the Notre Dame O-lineman, is a free agent. McDaniel obviously knows him. Watch that name. You know what? That's a guy that last year I had us on the board. It could be a trade possibility for us, and it was because of the relationship that he has with Mike McDaniel. But I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm not a big Mike McClinchy fan.
Don't let that one play that he's famous for getting blown up by the Cowboy guy.
It's not. Parsons. It's got nothing to do with it.
I thought you just saw that and you changed your mind because everyone was saying, "No, I don't want him anymore." But
it's everything in a nutshell with the guy. He's coming up to the age where he's getting older. I think he's been dealing with lingering injury history. I think I would rather go a different direction. I'd rather bring Brandon.
I agree with him. It's a name to watch with the Dolphins.
I'd rather have Brandon Shell. I'd rather have Brandon Shell than Mike McClinchy.
That's fair. But I lean with G-Man. It is a name to watch. Doesn't mean it's going to be the right name. Doesn't mean it's going to be, but it is a name to watch. You just said it.
Sure.
He has a little bit of injury history. That's on the Dolphins' radar. So
he's decent. He's decent. I guess I still would rather have Brandon Shell. I don't know. We'll see. I know a lot of people.
Solid is good over again what we had toward the end of the year on the line because of all the injuries and stuff. We were just,
I know that the right tackle.
Brendan Shell was solid. I like Brendan Shell. He's just,
I would definitely bring back Brandon Shell, man. If I'm the Dolphins, I would definitely think about bringing this kid back. That's just me.
Like Eric Fisher signed to Fuzz, and we never even got to see him play. He got injured in practice, so it's just
no. Yeah, that's not going to work.
That was a big ask. I don't put that on Fisher. That's a big ask. He was, doing what we're basically doing, just talking about football all year. Didn't get asked to be on an NFL roster towards the end of the year and expect to contribute. It's just he could have been working out all year, but it's not the same as NFL workout.
No, I agree. Like, I'd like to see the Dolphins bring in somebody who's a veteran right here. So don't get me wrong. Like, if they brought in McClinchy, I wouldn't complain about it, but it better not be for like $7-8 million a season. Then I'll be mad. It needs to be more like $4-3 million a season. Brandon Shell would be a hell of a lot cheaper. Yeah, I would rather go with Brandon Shell. That's just me. But I'd also like to bring in somebody that you could bring along slowly. That's a draft pick as well. One of those bigger right tackles that's in the draft. DeJuan James. Someone like that.
Not too slowly, man, because our time is now, man. That's it. Our slow windows.
When I say slowly, I mean like.
I know, but it's just like our window's coming, and we just gotta get it because we got a lot of big money on the books.
Then you're definitely going to want a veteran right tackle then. And
because the trades for Hill and Chubb changed everything because you went from, okay, we're building slowly to we're giving up 2 first-round picks for these guys, and we're giving them big money right up front. So, the time to win is now.
Bingo. You just hit it, dude. You just hit it. Damn, G-Man, me and you are like brothers. We need a true nasty center. Put Carter Williams back at left guard. I've been pounding the table for this for another 4 or 5 years around here. I would love to sign Garrett Bradbury from the Minnesota Vikings. He's a free agent, and put Connor Williams at left guard. I would love this. You need another center. We're so weak up the middle of our team right now, you guys.
That would help us in 2 positions. That one move would help us in 2 positions.
2 spots.
It would help us be better at guard and center right.
I agree.
And then you're only worrying about the right side. Really only right tackle at that point you would have to worry about if you do that. So
who's the center that you like, G-Man, from where? Because if it's out of the draft, I hope it's the kid I like. With McDaniel as run game expert and having a rhythm quarterback, the O-line paving the way for the running backs is critical. Yes, Garrett, damn right it is. It's so critical. It's the biggest part of what we have to get going. Oh my God, Lindenberg from last year. Yeah, dude. Yes, center like that is what you need. Someone who's athletic, who don't play no games, he can run those the stretch zone, left, right. Yes, athletic. The kid I like the most out of this draft would be the John Michael Schmitz out of Minnesota. Long arms, can run that same style that we need to get. I would love to draft John Michael Schmitz. That would be my guy I would want out of the draft. If there's just like a center coming out of free agency, I already told you who I want. I want Garrett Bradbury. I've wanted Garrett Bradbury on this team now for the last 3 years. That's my guy.
Well, guys, it's that famous time of day that we're done.
Yeah, we're done for the day.
Justin, that you want to close up with? You guys always thank you. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Justin, make sure you hit that thumbs up, even if you haven't done so. We need all those thumbs up that we can get. We're new here.
I will.
We need those to help us grow. But
you
guys
definitely want to close out thanking everybody for tuning in this morning. It's been a great show. We love interacting with all of you guys. G-Man, Garrett, Ender, who else is on here? Steve stopped by. We want to thank all of you guys for coming in here. It's awesome. We love talking football with all of you guys. This is why we want to do the show.
That's another thing that Justin's he likes him too.
Oh, dude, love me some Paris Johnson from Ohio State. It's crazy, dude. When I look at Paris play, I see like a young Teron Armstead out there, man. He's that good. He can lock it down. He's good. Once he gets his hands on you, his catch hands are strong too. And if you want me to be honest, there's a better player that's rated higher, G-Man, than Paris Johnson on my board, and that would be Matt Bergeron out of Syracuse. I'm not going to stop saying this kid's name, dude. This kid's going to get draft love. He's good. I think he's a little bit better than Paris Johnson. His scorecard indicates.
Kid projected. I haven't followed mock drafts yet.
He's projected to the mid to late, but I have him higher rated than Paris Johnson right now. It's not by much. He's only rated by Paris Johnson by 1 point. Bergeron's a 99. Paris Johnson's a 98. Wow. It's really not a big difference. You know what? His teammate DeJuan Jones is a 97. So, it's like boom, boom, boom. The tackles are rated really high in this draft as well. If you want a good tackle, they're going to be in this draft. You can find one. They're there. The guards, not as prevalent. The centers, okay. But you want to go find a pass rusher? They're in this draft. There's lots of pass rushers. You want to find a 3-tech? There's lots of 3-techs in this draft. You want to find a 5-tech? Lots of 5-techs in this draft. But not a lot of 1-techs. Not a lot of true nose tackles. If I could really be honest with you just for a second, there's only like 2 true nose tackles in this draft, in my opinion, for my money. That would be the Ika kid out of Baylor and Keandre Coburn out of Texas. I know there's a couple other guys who fit the bill, maybe Mazzie Smith out of Michigan and a couple other guys, but for my money, those are the best nose tackles in the draft.
And just to get you, we got to go, but this is not a player that you mentioned today, but this is an example of what Justin does on write-ups.
Exactly. And then I'll have the organic write-up part, which the part that I write, which when we do in the draft shows, I'll read to you guys out live, and you'll be able to catch every scorecard and the organic write-ups on dolphinsthirsty.com. If you're thirsty for Dolphins content, go check out dolphinsthirsty.com. He's going to have the complete guide over there. Over 200, maybe 250 players plus are going to be on his website. Don't forget to check it out. Rob told me he's going to have it very interactive. You'll go over there, click up a link and say like that TJ Bass, and it'll pull up his whole scorecard, his organic written write-up, everything. So do not forget to check that out.
Coming soon after the Super Bowl, I'm going to start it all. So because right now we still got Super Bowl stuff to talk about. Unfortunately, another Super Bowl without our fins up squad playing in it, but it is what it is. You know,
that's right.
It's been 23 years since a playoff win, so we got to take baby steps. We got to get a playoff win before we talk saying Super Bowl.
It's true.
Know?
But so yeah, the draft stuff's going to be hot and heavy, man. Can't wait. I love talking draft. I live for it. So this is my time of the year. It's like Christmas for me right now.
Garrett, we will close with your question. I would say no, because we need more, because you would have to give up too much to probably get into the back of the first round. But maybe if there was a super stud sitting there, Justin may think differently.
Yeah, I would. If there's one of those corners is sitting there in the back of the first round and it didn't cost you a lot to either get one of those three, which would be, or maybe even Pace, but Riley Moss, Christian Gonzalez, or Forbes are there, and you can trade up to get either one of the three, do it. Or Drew Sanders, if you have to trade up to get Drew Sanders from Arkansas, the linebacker. Any one of those four players I'm really interested in trading up for, honestly. Yes.
Depending on cost, of course, too.
Well, yeah, it can't be like a big haul. Like it has to be
given your first round for next year.
No. We're not doing that.
Right, exactly. Because you need to keep on keeping those first to build for the future.
That's right. We need to keep it on.
Keep your talent. Now, on that note, we're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you as always.
Love you guys, man.
If you haven't done so already, we know you all subscribed already.
Smash
all you guys
like
in here,
button.
so thank you. But make sure you hit that like button for us today. And Justin, on that, with no further ado, we're out of here.
Deuces.
I'll throw this one more time up, closing out. It's to show that that's Mark Clayton versus Tyreek Hill. I made that banner. I don't have much graphic experience, but I use some.
I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. You know, hey, it's all good. Thank you, guys. Fins up to you all. We're gonna go. I'm looking for your video here, Justin, your music video. Here we go.
Later, guys. Peace out.
Fins up.
Fins up.
First kick, I snap into action. When I'm digging in the trenches, get dominated off the line of scrimmage. Read and react quick to make it early diagnosis. Hit you with a quick release like Marino.